Maulana Yunus, I wanted to, so this is a question that's posed from the audience about stunning, and I know that HMC do not allow stunning before slaughter, and I guess in the context that we're living in with the environment, with the economic pressures, the technological advances, how do we keep up in the industry like that? And essentially what the individual was saying was that by way of the same comparison, do we then say stunning is a reality? Is that something we accept?
Yeah, I think the questioner asked the question that if you're going to accept industrialized processes, then why are you not accepting stunning?
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, there's a contradiction. I think what we based our opinion on right from the outset is there are certain rules within Islam in terms of what makes an animal halal and what makes an animal haram. One of the laws mentions that the animal has to be alive at the time of slaughter. Now, stunning can keep an animal alive according to some. For us, it's too risky. It might make the animal dead before the slaughter. And therefore, if the animal dies before the slaughter, then the animal is haram. It's non-halal. And therefore, we could not compromise on that issue. So, for example, if somebody says, well, we've got a slaughterhouse, but the animal is not facing Qibla, we go back to the text and say, if an animal is not facing Qibla, does that make the animal haram? No, it doesn't. It's a recommendation, it's a sunnah, but it's not a condition for an animal to become halal. And therefore, we can compromise on that just to make sure that the rest of the needs that make the animal halal are done. So yes, we try and make the animal face Qibla, and we try and do this and we try and do this, but anything that compromises the halalness of the animal or risks the halalness of the animal, we have not compromised on. So that's the answer. So it might seem contradiction, but when there is something which might make the animal haram, we have tried to avoid it.
And have you been approached by any animal rights groups?
We have discussed with animal rights groups, and there's a discussion which goes on regularly. And if you look at the reality of stunning was introduced in the early part of the 20th century, not because of animal welfare. And you can look this up. Stunning was introduced for the safety of the slaughterman. Stunning was introduced for the safety of the slaughterman, not for animal welfare. Because they felt that the animal will kick out, and therefore we need to make sure that the slaughterman is safe. Then slowly the argument changed because of the mass production. You want the animals to be stunned so that they can be slaughtered much more quickly. So whether it's in reality an animal welfare tool or not, that is still up for debate. So we can debate that until, sorry, pardon the pun, but the cows come home. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. On that? Yes, I was about to turn to you on it.
Yeah. Just to comment on the stunning. As Maulana said, if you stun an animal and it's not dead, it's not haram. If you stun an animal and it's not dead, it's not haram. HMC has taken a very cautious approach to stay on a safer line. But I have been involved, I've actually participated in some stunning researches. And I can assure you that not all stunning methods are consistent with halal. There are stunning methods that are called killing methods. If you gas stun an animal, you are likely to kill it. We do not go near gas stunning. If you use a captive bolt to stun cattle, it's not reversible. If you stun it and you do not slaughter, it will die, or it may die. Now, we have, if you look at our website, we have a set of parameters that has been tested to ensure that they are reversible. When I say reversible, when you stun the animal and you do not slaughter it for maybe 2 minutes, it will revive. It will get back. I was in Brazil in September. I tested 235 birds. They were stunned. I removed them from the shackle, put them on the floor. They all got up. That is called recovery trial. It's illegal in the UK. In Brazil, you can do it. The Home Office regard it as a demonstration, not as science, if academics are not involved in it. We believe if you stun an animal head only, you are targeting the brain of the animal. You are switching the brain of the animal from normal to what is called epileptiform. Epileptiform has been tested by medics to show that it's not consistent with consciousness. If you put the brain of an animal into epilepsy and you slaughter it, it does not feel pain. That has been related to humans. If you put me into epilepsy and you slaughter me, I wouldn't feel pain. That is the background behind it. So what we do is we have tested some parameters, and we are very, very sure that those parameters will not kill. But we also agree that if you look at the parameters set out in EC Regulation 1099/2009, which is welfare of animal at the time of killing, 2013, the parameters, not all of them are consistent with halal slaughter. There are some, if you use those parameters to slaughter and to stun an animal, they will die. I was in Brazil in in Barcelona in January. We used 600 hertz of frequency against 200 milliamps of current. The animals died. So we said, we are not accepting this. Though it's in the EU regulation, we cannot accept it because it will kill the animal. If you are familiar with electricity, if you go above 1,000 hertz, science has shown. Our own brother Anil, a Turkish Muslim, was part of the research that carried out. They tested up to 800 hertz and showed that 800 hertz did not kill. But what they said was, once you go about 800 hertz of frequency, it's not effective. But it supports recovery. So I'm happy Maulana has said, he's made his point clear. If the animal is alive after stunning, it would be very wrong for anybody to declare it as haram. It's not. If it's alive, no one, unless you've got your own Quran, you've got your own hadith, you've made somewhere. You cannot. And it's wrong for a Muslim to say something is haram when it's halal. So that's what I said from the start. We have to be very careful in declaring things haram when it's not. The HMC does not declare it as haram, but they have taken a very cautious approach, which is good in a way to protect themselves. But we have done science. We have taken part in research, and we are very confident. We've put in our hands in the Holy Quran to say, look, we are happy to approve this as halal. And if you are not sure, the parameters are on our website. You can go to any slaughterhouse, stand the bird, remove it, put it down. If it dies, come back to me and say, look, you guys are liars. The parameters are there. You can try it yourself. So it's not that we are hiding anything. We are very open. Try them. If they kill animals, come back to me, and we will stop stunning. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, we're just going to finish with the two questions that we have, and we'll open up again. So realistically, from an industry perspective,
Yep.
If we were saying that, okay, the demand is high, the reality is factory farms, what kind of realistic standards do you think that we can reach in terms of animal welfare before stunning and slaughter?
Well, to be very, very frank with you, if so long as we practice factory farming, animal welfare will be compromised. There is no doubt about that. They don't have space. They don't have the chance to express their natural behavior. If anybody here has seen birds before, if you've read poultry before, they like to perch, they like to sunbathe. If you keep them in factory, they cannot sunbathe. They can't, because they don't have access to sand. I know enriched system has been introduced, but it does not support natural behavior. So we cannot satisfy animal welfare in production so long as we stay in factory farming. So not until you and I move away from factory farming, but we can't, because we want cheap items. So let's all join Dr. Lutfi in supporting his practice. If you want to ensure 100% halal.
Sorry, but there is that option of sourcing